Hey y'all, it is me, Lauren, here with Plan with Laura. I'm your go-to gal and your best friend for all things planning, productivity, and how to use the resources that you have to plan today for a better tomorrow. I'm also acquainting myself with your type A BFF, so just stick with that here. So in today's video, I'm going to be reacting to my 2021 planner lineup video and letting you know how did those planners actually work for the duration of this year. So I really wanted to talk to you about how my planners this year have evolved and have changed, and how truthfully I am not being facetious at all when I say that I am using zero, and I truthfully mean zero of the planners that I started 2021 with that I am ending 2021 with. So in today's video, I'm gonna be talking to you about what planners I started with versus which ones I'm now ending with, why and what changed happened, and why I don't regret it at all. Now, this isn't a 2022 planner review video. I actually already have that here and uploaded over on my channel, so make sure to go ahead and check that out if you're wondering what planners I'll be using in 2022. And I wanna take a quick second to say that my emotions about where I am in my current planner stack are a little bit mixed. On one hand, I'm not 100% proud of not using any of the planners that I started with because I had such good intentions to start with them, but I'm also not ashamed, right? I'm not ashamed that something didn't work for me, or that my life changed, or that my circumstances changed. I'm kind of here at a neutral point and really just wanted to share with you that this is totally normal. If sometimes maybe you start a year with a planner, there's no expectation that you have to end that year with that same planner. But I gotta know before we jump in the video, so let me know in the comments down below, what is one planner that you used in 2021? And then let me know if you are still using that planner now, or if maybe that planner changed from the start of the year till the end of the year. I think it's very important to note that I'm gonna be talking about a lot of different planners here in this video. I do not personally think that one planner is better than the other. I think that the perfect planner is the planner that you're using, that makes you excited to plan, and that you're picking up every single day. Just because something didn't work for me doesn't mean that it won't work for you. So this hopefully will open up your eyes to a couple different planner layouts, different brands, and you can just hear my experience with planners along the way. Ever since new planners started to release, I cannot tell you how often I get asked the question, what planners are you going to use for 2021? And like many of you, I did a lot of experimenting back in 2020. I have a lineup here that I feel super comfortable with. Okay, so the first one that I have for you guys here is a Plum Paper planner. I know there's an Erin Condren cover, so you're probably like, what? And let me explain. One of the things that I realized this year is that I need one planner to keep everything in. For me, I found it essential that I wanted something that no matter at what point in the year, I could go back and refer to and know that all of my information is housed here. So the biggest thing with the Plum Paper planner is that I had a vertical layout and I wanted something that I could keep everything. I wanted to track everything that I had going on in my life. And that's still that same sentiment applies. I wanted one planner that I wasn't jumping around in, that I was gonna stay consistent in. But the biggest thing that didn't work was the layout. The vertical layout was great at the beginning of the year. In January and February and March and in April, I was still at home. At the time, were living in South Carolina. Our schedules were very predictable on a day-to-day basis. But in the spring and in the summer, we started to regain some sense of normalcy. Our lives shifted, our lives changed. We began having meetings and appointments, things that were taking us out of town for work and just for fun. And no longer did the vertical layout work. So we did shift. I shifted into an Erin Condren hourly planner. So this is the planner that I am now using. I have been using this planner since May of 2021. I actually was one of those people, like I uncoiled an old version so this planner doesn't technically start till June. Now the Plum Paper planner was great. I really loved it because it had kind of the key components that I know that I like in a planner. So it had a hard coil, it had really nice paper. I think the paper definitely was super slick, so I would be careful. I ended up using a Papermate Flare most of the time that I wrote in it, so there wasn't as much smudging and smearing. Truthfully, when it came down to it, had nothing to do with the planner itself or the quality of the planner. Truthfully, it came down to the layout, and Erin Condren is a brand that I know, I love. I trust their quality, I do a lot of work with them, and I love their planner. So that is what we are in, and if you have seen my 2022 planner layout. All right, let's see what the next one is. The second planner that I'm committing to, it should be absolutely no surprise here, is my Moxie Life planner. And I love my Moxie Life planner. I'm so excited to be going into my first full year, but my second actual Moxie Life planner. Now this planner is a goal planner and a weekly planner all combined into one. So if that is something that you are interested in, go ahead and check this out. I have a whole bunch of videos talking about this planner and even a whole playlist about this planner, plan with me's, ways to goal set in it, the works. I love this planner. This goal setting system just works for me. It clicks for me and I'm excited for a whole nother year. Also, the community around this planner is unlike anything I've ever seen before. So in this planner, I am going to be using it two ways. What I love so much about planners in our planner community is that a lot of us use a lot of the same product. So I'm going to be using my Moxie Life planner in its intended way as a goal planner from week to week, but also as a memory planner. I love to memory keep. I love to have something that is creative for me, that I get to use all my sticker kits in, everything like that. So how I plan to use this planner, and I've been doing it here in the end of 2020, when I sit down on Sunday, I will go through and I will memory plan out the week prior. So I'll sit down with my weekly planner and I'll go through and I'll print out photos and I will go through a week memory planning in my Moxie Life. Then I will go to the next week and I will set all of my goals and all of my intentions. This is also the time that I'll do any type of monthly reflecting, any retrospectives and things like that. And here is where my planners build off of each other. There's a section here in the Moxie Life to write out your weekly goals and what you plan to do. Oh my goodness, this is like the first time that I've actually went back and like looked at one of my old YouTube videos. Like every so often I'll like see if I said something or whatnot, but like, I don't know, it's pretty cool to go back and look at it. Okay, so the next planner that we have is the Moxie Life. Now it's gonna be different because I uncoiled and I recoiled as I was figuring out my life and what I wanted to do with planning. And so let's talk about this. No longer using this flagship Moxie Life planner. I have been on and off using the Moxie Life A5 companion notebook. So let's talk about Moxie Life, what worked, what didn't work, all of these things. I will say this, I still think it's a phenomenal goal planning system and I think that it is really great. The Moxie Life community still is absolutely phenomenal. So all the things that I said in the video 100% ring true. Let's talk about why this planner didn't necessarily work for me. So you'll see a key tenet is that my life got a lot busier kind of towards the middle and really in the end here of 2021. And one thing that I said in this original video that kind of made me laugh is when I was like, when I sit down on Sundays and I have all of this time to plan out and do all these things, and I cannot tell you the last like time that I had like more than 30 minutes uninterrupted to just sit down and plan out everything. And so I think that's really what ended up being the reason that I couldn't stay as consistent in this planner as I wanted to. Now, I used this planner consistently for 9 months, and even like going back to just prep for this video, like I used it every single week. I was so consistent with it. These are beautiful, and these are what I love looking back on, and it's just cool to go back and look at your planners and see where you were and what life was. I struggled a lot at the beginning of the year this year, and so going back and reading about that and what that looked like is just really important. Being able to sit down, do these super creative spreads, the memory keeping aspects, all of that, loved it. Ran out of time to do it. So really kind of as we get towards May, which again is kind of when I stopped using Plum Paper planner, it's when I stopped using this Moxie Life notebook, is when I just no longer had the time to do it. I think I would have remained consistent in this planner if this was my main planner, if this was the planner that I was sticking to for everything. I could totally see that. But again, I'm kind of an hourly, I am an hourly person. I like to have an hourly. I like to be able to say I have an appointment at 9:30 and I have lunch at 12 and I have a meeting at 3 o'clock. That's very important to me. And yes, could I write that here in a vertical? 100%, but I just don't want to. And that comes down to a personal preference. So because goal setting is still so important to me, I did then shift from using that to then moving over into April 2021, that's when I went ahead and I moved into the companion notebooks. I will say that I have kind of been on and off with this. Sometimes I'm really consistent with it, sometimes I'm not. I do believe when things are out of sight, they are out of mind. I plan to still use some sort of the Moxie Life system in 2022. And if you're interested in Moxie Life or this is your first year using it, it is such a great planner and I am so excited for you. Let's move on to the next planner. Pocket planner. We'll kind of see what happens. I have a couple of different ideas, one being kind of tracking overall wellness. I have a lot of wellness goals as well as a lot of financial goals. So I'm thinking that this could be something that will dive a little deeper into that. Let me know y'all's thoughts about this one. But this main stack, pocket planner, Plum Paper planner, and my Moxie Life planner, these are the planners that I am committing to for 2021. I need to never say that sentence out loud again. These are the planners that I'm committing to. Y'all, stop me if I ever say that again. Also, this makes me laugh because I used the pocket planner for probably a week. Really great idea. I still think that if you're using it to track expenses or if you need to take little notes or like if you have little reminders, pocket planners are great, but I did not stay consistent with my pocket planner at all. I really love daily planners specifically for work. I love that I can list out all of my meetings, all of my tasks, and quite frankly, I think the simplified products, it's like in their name, simplified. They are simple, they are elegant, they are beautiful, and they are so high quality. I plan on using this planner for work or for busy days that arise. Currently, I'm working from home, and as of right now, I can use as many planners as I want because I can fit them out all on my desk. However, whenever we do go back to offices, I will not be able to carry this planner as well as my Plum Paper planner everywhere around with me. So once we go back to work, or maybe on a day that's not super busy, this simplified planner won't get used, but it is something that I will be using intermittently throughout the year. Additionally, okay, so the simplified planner didn't last very long. For a lot of the reasons that I mentioned here in this video, it was great when I was working from home and I could keep it open on my desk. I have my 2022 planner lineup. Again, that video is already live here on my channel, but now I'm like, do I need a daily planner? This is the Bloom weekly planner. It is a horizontal layout. I wanted to keep all of that in one place. I know that I don't always use journals, and so this is a dated option that can be used more as a morning pages journal, or if I want to write my morning affirmations, which I do I am statements, I can use this planner as well. I have not tried doing something like this in a system prior. I want to set realistic expectations for myself, so this is another option of something that I will intermittently use throughout the year. Okay, so the Bloom planner is no longer, as we can see, as a reoccurring theme with all of my planners this year, but it did show me that I loved journaling. So I will say that I started the year in the Bloom planner. I actually ended up like ripping out some of those pages and putting them in here. I've stayed really consistent. Again, since April, I have journaled in some shape, form, or capacity every single day in 2021. So this planner is the Erin Condren A5 soft bound planner. I do love Erin Condren soft bound planners. Sometimes, like this is the weekend that we got engaged, so I put some pictures from the engagement. Sometimes I write about one things. I write little things like John Michael broke his golf record, you know, that's one thing. My dad won a scratch off ticket. Like, they're little things either about my day. It's just a different form of journaling. I have found in the past that if I am just like staring at a blank page, sometimes it's overwhelming. And so not really putting a lot of pressure on myself, this has really helped me build, I don't know, it's kind of like the practice of journaling. It's been so fun. Sometimes I like to add stickers and decorate and do some little things. Like I really love using it at the beginning. I track a lot of different things like goals, and I try to do a longer form journaling somewhere in here as well. The Bloom planner is what started me out on it. And I will say, because it's in an A5, which is the same size as the companion notebook, I did actually put them in one of the Erin Condren Petite Planner systems so that I was able to carry them around with me. Content planner. Now I have not used the content planner before, but I'm excited about it. I have heard great reviews about it. Okay, so the last planner that I talk about here in this video is called the content planner. This planner was actually back ordered and then they had some shipping issues, so I didn't actually receive this planner until a couple months into 2021. I actually ended up just not using the planner at all. It just, by the time that it arrived, I had already kind of figured out what I wanted to do for content and what that all looked like. So I just never actually picked up the planner and used it. So I can't really speak to it because I never used it. What I started with, as we see, is very different than what I'm ending with here, which is my wedding planner. It is this Erin Condren Petite system with a Moxie Life companion notebook and a Erin Condren softbound planner, as well as an Erin Condren hourly planner. So that is what we are ending the year with here. First one is all about managing multiple planners. First off, if you are not a multiple planner person, do not worry. You don't have to have multiple planners. You could also have a planner stack of 10 different planners. What I want you to consider and want you to think about is that, number one, if you are using multiple planners, don't be afraid of white space. And what I mean by white space is having blank pages in your planner. I know sometimes it can feel crippling to feel the need to write everything out on paper, to have every single one of your pages in your planner filled out. I think especially when you're using multiple planners, I don't use the monthly section in every single one of my planners, right? I've talked about 1, 2, 3, 4 different planners that I'm using here in 2021, and I only have one of those monthly planners filled out. I also too think it's important to mention that we live in a digital world, that the use of digital calendars are just sometimes a part of life, whether it is for work, whether it is personally, whether it is calendar syncing with family members or other people in your life, and that is not a bad thing. I have a digital calendar. I didn't include it here in my official stack video, but I have a digital calendar that I use every single day, and I don't think that paper planning is taking away from digital planning or vice versa. It just helps accentuate it. I know one thing that has really helped me is kind of identifying a priority planner. And really, if you're not in the planner community, this may or may not make sense. But again, I have 4 different planners that are here, but I kind of have my one priority planner, right? Right now, this is my priority planner. It is the planner that I prioritize using. I don't use my wedding planner every single week. I'm not using my Moxie Life every single week. This is the planner that I make sure is up to date. This is the planner that I can kind of go back and refer to as kind of like my North Star in guiding me on a day-to-day. The other planners are, you know, I would say supplemental planners. They enhance my life. They enhance my planning. They are things that I love and things that I want to prioritize, but sometimes because we cannot predict life, these other planners, right? These other planners take a seat on the back burner. And I think that's helped me stay more consistent in using my planners throughout the year, is again, only prioritizing this one thing. And sometimes that looks like this week is a pretty week and I put down stickers and I put down all of those fun things. But more than not, this is what my planner looks like. This is real. This is using just pen and maybe a highlighter. This week, I was dealing with a lot personally, dealing with a lot professionally, wasn't in the best headspace, but I knew that planning for me is something that really helps me. So I just used my planner in the best way that I could that week. We don't know what everything's gonna look like. Again, I think at the end of the year, we can sit here and be super idealistic about what next year will look like and what we want our planners to look like. And even if we have the best intentions, as you guys saw, sometimes that is just not the way that the year works out. So whatever it is for you, whether it's prioritizing planning or prioritizing self-care, or prioritizing whatever it may be, keep that as like your North Star in your planning journey throughout the next year. All right, y'all, now that is what I have for you guys today. Let me know. I used to, when I first started my channel, do kind of like a quarterly, what planners am I using? I didn't do that this year. I just planned and whatever I planned with, but I am starting to build out content for 2022. How insane that we are already there. Let me know, do you want quarterly planner videos? Do you want more review videos? I wanna get your input as I'm building out all of the content for 2022. If you are just joining here, welcome. I hope that you decide to stick around by hitting that red subscribe button. I upload 2 new videos every single week. As always, y'all, my name is Lauren here with Plan with Laur, and I will see y'all next time. Happy holidays, and let's get into 2022 planning. Bye, y'all.